Okay, hello everybody. Before we start, let me just check if everything's okay, if the volume is okay, and then we are going to start. Give me just one moment. Okay, looks like the volume is okay. I think it might be a little bit too loud. You can tell me in the chat if it's too loud or too quiet, and I will sort things out. But hello everybody, my name is Kikrolin. You probably don't know me, or maybe you know me also as Dino from GRS as well. I am going to be reserving as the commentator for today, as Luke is unavailable. So this is going to be a one-off thing, but I really do hope that you are going to enjoy the stream nonetheless. So, welcome to Florida! Yes, today we're racing at Miami, at the Miami International Autodrome. This year is the debut year of this track, and it has already made some pretty good races in real life, or at least one race, which also had a very scary crash between Gasly and Norris, but let's see how it performs in-game. This track is 5.4 kilometers or 3.3 miles long and is made out of 19 corners, 7 to the right and 12 to the left. It has also 3 DRS zones, making overtaking pretty common around its 3 long straights. Sector 1 is mostly made out of really fast corners, while Sector 2 has a long straight and very slow corners, mostly known as the Mickey Mouse section, which goes under the highway. And Sector 3 is mostly made out of 1 really long straight and a hard braking zone, where we might see all our moves happening. The tires are right in the middle range, with the C4, C3 and C2 tires being used today, and as always the intermediates and the wets. Rain is not uncommon here if you've watched this race in other leagues, so our drivers need to be aware of that going forth. Let's look at the standings a little bit, shall we, before we go into the qualifying session. So currently we have a 3-way tie going into P1 in the standings. So Jordan, Lewis and Michael currently 30 points same. So the two Aston Martins looking very competitive this season overall. Hugo also follows them only 1 point behind in P4. George Norton also not far behind, only 5 points, as we hear that we are actually going into the lobby, but let's just take a moment here. Also Kevin Kovac, 12 points, a little bit of a gap, but he has missed one race right in the beginning in Australia, so let's see if he's going to be able to regain the ground going into the first of the doubleheader in America. And you can see everyone else: Callum, Stein in P8, P9, John Lane in P10, and everyone else at the bottom. Unfortunately, not too many points. In the constructors, we have currently Aston Martin leading with 18 points, a difference between Aston Martin and Williams. So currently they are looking to extend the lead in this race. So let's see if they are going to be doing that. Also, we have the Alpine duo in P3, so not looking bad as well for them, and Red Bull also with 25 points in P4. Then we have McLaren, Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, Haas, AlphaTauri, and unfortunately Mercedes, who is last in the standings. So let's see if they can maybe regain some points going into this Grand Prix. So, as you've probably heard already before, we are going into the qualifying session, which looks like it is going to be dry. So that is a very good thing for the drivers, so they don't really need to look out for the traction at the very slow corners, so that is going to be very nice indeed. I think the volume of the game is a little bit too low, so I'm just gonna pop it up a little bit. And then let me check it again. Okay. I think it's good. I'm just checking the stream. There is a little bit of a delay between myself and watching the stream. But it looks good so far. Okay, it's a little bit too high. I'm just gonna bump it up to 4 where it was again. So, yeah, Miami, a pretty cool track. Sort of a street track. It's like a mix of both. A street track not too many slow corners, along a lot of straights like I said before, so I think the race is mostly gonna be interesting. I already commentated one race here in Miami and it was a blast to watch. But currently we have Mitchell Snape, who is the first guy out on track in the Alpine, so let's see how he is going to perform, and let's give a little bit of a track guide. So as he crosses the finish line, he is starting his lap, going into turn 1, you want to brake as hard as you possibly can, go into 3rd gear, which is the best gear, and then short shift to 4th to get the better traction out of the corner. Now going into turn 4, this is a very technical section. It's like really fast S's, but if you touch those curbs very harshly, it can really unsettle your car and you're gonna cause yourself into a spin. Turn 7, which Mitchell Snape passed right now, you want to get a very good exit, because that is going to give you the best straight line speed going into this long straight. This is the first long straight of the circuit. The DRS is right in the middle, so it's not really at the beginning, so you wanna make your overtaking as soon as possible. As we also see a little bit of drops of rain, so rain looks like is going to be a factor. The Make Him Out section very slow, 3rd gear and 4th gear is optional. Now here under the highway, go to 2nd gear. 1st gear is gonna unsettle your car, but you can see that Mitchell has actually taken it very nicely, so nothing has been lost there. Also take it very aggressively. If you go to the inside a little bit too much, it can give you a instant 3-second time penalty, so be very careful about that. Going now into the hardest braking zone, I think. You wanna go to 3rd gear, short shift to 4th, get the best traction. And now going into the final corner here, which is not really a corner, it's full flat out, but the DRS is right at the exit, with Mitchell Snape crossing the finish line and a 130.0, which is a pretty good bank mark at the moment, as the rain, like we said, is going to appear. And let's hope that most people are gonna finish their laps before the rain is gonna come. Some people have already set their laps, with the 2 Aston Martins currently leading P1 and P2, of course provisional P1, 129.6. I hope that he didn't lose too much time because of the raindrops, as the DRS has been enabled. This is the indication that I think is time for intermediates, so everyone who set their laps now is presumably going to stay here if it's not gonna dry at the end of the qualifying session. As Kevino, thankfully for him, puts himself into P2, 70 thousandths of a second difference to the pole sitter of Viper, very close, but unfortunately if the rain is not gonna disappear, I think that is going to be it for the Williams driver and for everyone else. And for those who haven't set their laps, it is unfortunately going to be over for them, because the intermediates, I don't think, can beat the dry lap time. So if you're new to Formula 1, how the qualifying session works is that we are running a short qualifying format, so that is 18 minutes, and you just want to put the fastest lap you possibly can. In previous years, there were actually rules that you actually had different compounds of tires that you can actually put on your car and set the lap times on those. So we had the softs, which are these red compounds, and the mediums, which were the yellow compounds. This year, the rules of course have been changed, so you only get softs at the end, and then at the race you can start on whatever tire you choose. In previous years, it would be that whatever tire you put the fast lap on, you would start on that in qualifying 2, or in the short qualifying. So if, so to say, you put a lap time on softs, it was your fastest lap time, you couldn't improve, you are going to start on those worn softs, so they are going to be like 6% wear at the beginning, and you have to start on those no matter what. If you put a lap time on mediums, you can start on mediums, and then you would have a different strategy and maybe a strategic advantage over the course of the race. Now you only get softs and then a free choice of tire at the start, so it gives a big ground for everyone to choose whatever they want to do. They can start on hards if they want, go long extend to the softs, or just go safe, go from mediums to hards or hards to mediums. Some people might choose to do softs, of course, try to extend them as much as they possibly can, put mediums on, so try to get those to the end, so a very risky strategy. Of course, I don't know what these people are gonna choose. Everyone has a mind of their own, so it is all going to be seen in the middle of the race what people are going to choose. But yeah, the rain looks like is just going quicker and quicker onto the track. BHL Snape, the first guy on the intermediates, just trying to get the feel of the track. I don't know if it is going to be wet in the race. I don't have any information about that, but I don't think it is. But of course, we're just gonna have to wait and see until the time is going to come, which is going to be in 10 minutes. The race format is as follows: 50% of the real life race, so 29 laps I think, is in Miami. So 29 laps of full battles and action. I think a one-stop is definitely gonna be the best strategy here. Like I said before, mediums to hards, maybe mediums to softs if you really want to try and risk it. Because the softs do wear out quite hugely. Around every single track it is around 7 to 8% each lap, so you can have the softs for around 9 laps and you are already going to be in the puncture zone, unfortunately. So the softs are not really the best choice of tire that you want to choose, but it is there as an option if you want it. So yeah, like I said, Mitchell Snape, the only guy on intermediates at the moment, with J Lane out as well. One of the two who hasn't had lap time yet, alongside Poe in the Alfa Romeo. So very unfortunate for those two. Maybe they can try and beat those guys in the 30s, in the 38s, but it is going to be very, very difficult. But we can see here Mitchell Snape very much struggling in these changing conditions. Looks like the wet setup wasn't really applied for this race or the qualifying session. So he is struggling a little bit, but he is not going to be able to improve of his 130.0. So I think this is just going to be qualifying session over if it's not going to dry out at the end. But yeah, let's see here. He's going to finish Sector 2 in just a moment after the chicane, and we're gonna see how much the time is being lost as he actually does back out of it. A 111.6 split, so 7.2 seconds lost. So I think Poe and J Lane can definitely try and beat the 38s, like SLG, Rabidi, and Zakash. I think they can beat them, but it is going to be pretty difficult. They are going to need to push all the way if they want to do it. But 8 minutes left until the end of the session. Currently Viper is on provisional pole. He is presumably going to stay in that place as it doesn't really look like it's drying out. Kevino is following him right behind, 70 thousandths of a second the difference between the two. Very close. We hope that that is going to remain for the race. Dinan Cool, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that name wrong, in P3, 3/10 off of the two pole sitters. Nemesis in the Aston Martin also in P4. Snape in P5, Unga Bunga in P6, Nilsson in P7, Lepage in P8, Hypno in P9, N1A in P10, Maiden in P11, Thomas P12, Maestro P13, SLG P14, Rabidi P15, Zakash P16, and unfortunately still Poe and J Lane, no lap times yet. But we are currently on board with J Lane, who is just about to finish his lap. Let's see where he is going to end up. Is he going to be able to overtake anyone? And the answer is yes. A 138.2, just barely getting himself into P14 on the 7th row. Not the best qualifying session that he probably would have wanted, as he didn't go out instantly like everyone else, but he is going to have to deal with it in the race. With that low position. At least one positive thing from that is that it's gonna be way easier to avoid any incidents going into turn 1. So at least he can just try and brake pretty early, avoid incidents, and if there is going to be any carnage into turn 1, just try and cruise past it. And that is going to be the strategy. Crashing on this track is pretty easy. Like I said, it is a street track, but it is pretty wide. So you can go 3 wide at mostly in any part of the circuit except for the Mickey Mouse section and the chicane under the bridge. You presumably just wanna have one car length there. You don't wanna go side by side because you're just gonna kill yourself and the guy you're battling with. So be careful in the race how you take it. As Poe also crossed the finish line, unfortunately only 1 position gained for the Alfa Romeo. He is going to be P17 and probably gonna stay there. Only if he improves. Looks like he is using GRS, he is going for another lap. So let's see if he's gonna be able to do it. But as we see, most people are in the pit lane, so they are just waiting in doubt for these last 5 minutes that are remaining in the session. And I think we can just call this qualifying session over. I don't think any places are gonna be improved upon because there is no way intermediates can beat a dry lap time. And if anyone who is racing is in chat and is watching the stream so far, can we please have a indication of if it's going to rain in the race, because I am really curious if it's gonna rain or if it's gonna be dry throughout the whole race. Like I said, I have no way of finding that out, so I need to rely on the drivers if anyone is available. But yeah, 4 minutes left until the end of the session. I don't think anything is going to happen. But some people are still out on track, presumably getting the feel of the intermediates, giving me a thought that it might be raining in the race. But I don't know. Usually people would retire from the session because there is no way that you can improve, and then we would just very quickly just go ahead in the race or to the race. But I don't know. LSG said no rain in the race. Thank you very much, Psychosis. Thank you for the heads up. Yeah, raining qualifying again. It is very interesting. Of course, I haven't seen last time Japan, but looks like this is a pretty common theme here in GRS, that we have a wet qualifying session and then a dry race. Because I do remember that Japan was dry. That is the only thing I remember. And then Leipzig getting a very good start. He is currently in P8. Let's see if he can do that once again. But currently, it is looking very good for Viper and Nemesis, who are looking to extend their gap in the championship. Currently P1 and P4 respectively for them. They are just going to have to avoid any incidents going into turn 1. And they are just going to be clear to cruise off. But Kevino and Dina, they look to be pretty close as well. I don't remember where AlphaTauri is in the standings. I think they are like 3rd, around 20 points to the leaders, so they can also do some work. Unfortunately, Dina is the only AlphaTauri who is going to be racing today, so all pressure is going to be on his hands to deliver. But going well so far. They had a pretty lucky session getting those times very early on before the rain came and the DRS was disabled. So that only made their work way easier. As we see the Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari on outlaps, let's hope that the Ferrari doesn't get any dirty air to the Alfa Romeo. But as I see it, he is currently on a outlap, so all is gonna be good. And Maiden probably gonna go into the pit lane this lap, as he is going very slowly, and he is on 3-lap old intermediates. There is no way that he can do anything else. But yeah, honestly, it was a pretty good qualifying session while it lasted, while it was dry. When it was wet, it just kind of fell off because no one could improve. Everyone just stayed at their positions. Everyone stayed in the pit lane. Thankfully, we don't have 3 qualifying sessions because that would take too long, and we would like stream for 2 hours. because qualifying 1 lasts 18 minutes, qualifying 2 lasts 15, and then qualifying 3 lasts 12. So we would be here for a while. But yeah, we're just waiting for the end of the qualifying session. It is very close. We see some yellow flags out on track with the Alpine, presumably just letting everyone by who is on their lap, and the Red Bull of Zakash also letting people through. Some people might also run out of fuel, like we see Lepage, I think, but he is on a outlap actually. So just going again on softs actually. Is it really dry enough to try softs? I didn't see the indication that DRS is enabled, so I don't think this is going to matter too much, but we can see the sun a little bit out at the sky coming out of the clouds, a little bit of spark coming out of it, or gloom I think it's called, I don't really remember. So it might be dry enough, but you can see here from Lepage's point of view that just traction is incredibly bad. Just struggling at the exit and the entry into the corners. The tries, no way that they are better than Dubets. So it's probably just gonna stay as is, as we have 2 seconds remaining and it is over. We are just waiting for Lepage, Snape and SLG to cross the finish line, and it is going to be done as Snape does cross the finish line, unfortunately 26 seconds off of his time. No improvement in the conditions, which is very unfortunate, but a P5 for the Alpine. I am sure he is going to be very happy about this position. So let's see if he can turn this into a good result with his teammate also in P7, so the Alpine is also looking to shape up some ground. The Mercedes also currently in the points, they are last in the championship, 2 points only, as Lepage got 2 points in Japan. So they need to try and get some points today, so they don't fall off insanely after the doubleheader. So today we have Miami, and next time we are going to have Kota. So we are just going to go back and forth, so to say, going from Miami all the way to Texas, I think Kota's at. I don't really remember, but we are going to Kota. That's a really fun track. I really like that track, so I hope that race is also gonna be a lot of fun to watch and to commentate on, as we are just waiting for Lepage to just go into the pit lane, as he runs wide, nearly crashes into the wall, which you really don't wanna see, but because it's over you don't really need to care too much, but still be very careful. You don't want to cause the team the damage. It is very expensive to change these parts on the cars. All of these parts are like $500,000 or something like that. Like, they are very expensive. I don't even know how they make them. Is it like with CNC machines or something like that? I mean, I'm going for a CNC operator, so maybe I'm gonna be working for a Formula 1 team. You never know. If the session lasted a few minutes longer, would have been a very, very interesting. Do you mean that it was drying at the end? Was it drying? Is that why some people went to softs at the end? If that's so, that is very interesting. But the qualifying session is over. Viper is going to be on pole position for Aston Martin. Very good qualifying session for him. And Kevino is going to follow him right behind on the first row. Dina is third, and Nemesis is rounding out the second row. The top 4 look very competitive at the moment. It is going to be very interesting. Snape and Unga are in the third row, Nelson and Lepage on fourth row, Hypno and N1A in the fifth row, Maiden and Tomesh P11 and P12, and I missed everyone else. Wait, let me try to check the stream. Maestro, J-Lane, P13, P14. The stream has a pretty big delay. Rabidi, SLG, Zakash, and I think it's PO or Po. I don't remember his name. Starting on last position. Now we are just waiting for everyone to choose their setup. choose their strategy in the race, what tire they want to choose to start on, choose the amount of fuel they're gonna carry in the middle of the race. And yeah, I think the formation lap is still turned off. There was an update that fixed that, but keep in mind, it's only for offline modes. It literally said offline mode, it's not online, so it might not be working for multiplayer. So I don't know if formation lap is on or off, and currently it is off, as we have 5 red lights. It's long held up as always, but we are underway for the Miami Grand Prix. Looks like Viper has actually gotten a pretty good start, but Kevino is trying to go for it, going down the inside of the Aston Martin. Nemesis also trying to go to his teammate. Looks like they are still going side by side into turns 3 and 2, and he has taken it. Now Nemesis trying to get the battle onto the Williams driver down in front. But he is going to go ahead as Zunga Bonga and Viper also going side by side. I think there was contact between the two, as Zunga Bonga, yes, he has spun. Mitchell Snape has gotten a 5-second time penalty as well, which is the first penalty that has been gotten, but he has improved one position, starting from P5 to P4. 3/10 close to the Aston Martin of Viper. Let's see if he's maybe gonna be able to make a move. Currently not using any ERS, I don't think so, but going pretty well. Most of the people starting on hards, only some on mediums. Dina, Lepage, Rabidi and Tomesh on the mediums. As we see people going side by side, Lepage and Hypno. Thankfully they get away clean in the chicane under the bridge, and Lepage goes to P6. Very good action here from everyone in this first lap. Very nice to see that they are keeping it clean and safe, as Mitchell Snape going on a move to Viper down the inside of the penultimate corner, and looks like he has actually gotten it, as he was a bit squirrely at the exit of the corner. As we also see Rabidi and Zakash falling down, so there may have been an incident between the two drivers. I don't know, as there was also contact between these three drivers, as they do make even bigger contact, as Dina has crashed with that collision with the Aston Martin. But Lepage currently having a very good race so far, starting from P8 going into P4, very nearly in the podium position, so currently looking very good for the Mercedes to get some points to the end. But it is still 27 laps remaining in the race, so anything can still happen over the course of the race. That was stressful. Let's go on board with Hypno. He is trying to get close to Lepage using all of his ERS that he has. Already has used most of his battery, already at 30%, as we see Lepage on 50. Let's see if maybe he can gather some speed in this chicane and this exit. Unfortunately he doesn't, but Lepage does. He has gotten himself in the DRS range of Snape. So the DRS is going to be enabled on lap 3, which is going to be the next lap. So like I said before, we have 3 huge DRS zones, so you really want to have that benefit. If you don't know how DRS works, you need to be 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone, as Lepage trying to go for a move even before the straight, going down the inside of the Alpine. Is he gonna make this move stick? They are still going side by side, leaving each other as much room, as there was little contact between the two, giving Hypno a very good opportunity to try to make a double overtake, as he unfortunately swipes to the right and makes contact with Lepage, putting him into the wall. That might be damage to the side pod of the front wing of that Mercedes, but looks like here I don't actually see anything. As now Lepage trying to get that move back, trying to get revenge on the Haas driver. Is he gonna be able to make it stick? He also gets some slipstream from the Alpine, and unfortunately Hypno is going to be sandwiched between the two, or boxed, so to say. But still, he has the inside line going into the Mickey Mouse section. Is he gonna be able to make it move? Is he gonna be able to defend it? With Nilsson also trying to get close to this battle. Hypno gets a 3-second time penalty as Nilsson spins. So unfortunately, he is not gonna be here anymore. But this is a very good battle here for the podium position. Unfortunately, Snape and Hypno do have penalties, so that is going to get to the that is going to get applied at the end of the race. But if it's a 5-second time penalty, you can serve that in the pit lane. Or actually, you are going to have to serve that in the pit lane, because you cannot not serve it. As Lapage was looking to go for a little move down the inside, but he backed out of it, which was probably the best move that he could have done. As this battle is happening, Nilsson is trying to get back to the front, battling here with Maiden in the Ferrari. Let's see how much time he is going to gain in this S section. Looks like he is running a little bit of a higher downforce setup, carrying more speed at the exit and at the entry of the whole sector, actually. Maiden doesn't have any DRS to defend with, also not as much ERS as Nilsson, so I think this is going to be a very easy move. But looks like Nilsson just staying behind. And oh, that was very dangerous, moving under braking from Maiden. But thankfully Nilsson has avoided the collision to the diffuser of the Ferrari and managed to overtake him in the process. So very good avoiding skills there from Nilsson. Goes to P8, trying to get back. Poe is next. He has actually improved 12 positions, I think. Let's check. 11 positions. Yeah, he started last. And already in P7, that is very impressive from the Alfa Romeo, looking very good, just avoiding every single accident that happened in the beginning stages, and just pulling away, very good. As something actually happened with Snape, he has lost a position to Lapage and Hypno. So I don't know what happened there, that there might have been contact between the two, but what matters now is that Lapage is in the podium positions, and that is only gonna benefit him. Kevino still leading the race, already 4 seconds, a gap to Nemesis right behind, as Akash does get a 3-second time penalty. But looks like Kevino currently the fastest driver out there, even on the hards. Like, he's gaining a lot of time on the medium runners as well. But to be fair, all of the medium runners have been involved in the lap 1 incidents. The only one who hasn't is Lapage, but he did have that contact with Hypno at turn 3, which hopefully didn't cause any damage, but by the looks of it, he's not losing any time, so everything is looking good at the moment. Nemesis trying to close the gap, but he has lost 8 tenths in the course of only 7 corners. So not looking good for the Aston Martin driver, but still P2 is a very good position, and now he just has to take care of his tires, get to the pit window, and try to maybe hope for a safety car. That is probably going to be the only thing that is going to save his race, as we see Hypno trying to go for a move down the inside of the Alpine driver of Snape. Looks like a lot of drivers really like to go for that move on the poor Alpine, as he does lose control of his car and he unfortunately spins at turn 3. That is the place where it is very easy to lose control if you're not easy on your throttle and you don't short shift at all. Like you saw with Snape, you can very easily lose the back end, and unfortunately he lost a lot of time because of that, and has gotten a 3-second time penalty going alongside that. So very unfortunate there for the Alpine. While we don't have any battles here so far across the grid, Viper currently trying to get close to Hypno in his DRS range. Let's check the penalties so far. So 3 seconds for Hypno for corner cutting presumably, or exceeding track limits. Snape 5 seconds and 3 seconds, so combined 8 seconds. He is going to serve the 5 seconds later when he does make his stop, so only 3 seconds are gonna be at the end. Jane Lane also with the 5 second, and Unga Bunga also with 5 seconds, so all of these 5-second time penalties are gonna be served. during the pit lane, with Zakash also going to serve it. The 3 second time penalties are not available to serve, but they are appealable at the end of the race. So if you had some issues or the game instantly gave you a penalty, you can report that and the stewards are going to look for it. Or look after it and try to do the best decision that they think is best. As we also have a battle behind, in the back markers, Rabidi and Maestro going side by side into the penultimate corner, and Rabidi made that move stick very easily, but Maestro got DRS because of that, but unfortunately not too close to try and make a move. So he is gonna stay behind, maybe try and hope that he's gonna get DRS for the next straight as well, but by the looks of it he is losing a lot of time in the corner, so I don't think that is going to be a possibility for the Haas driver. But still going very well so far, has Snape and Maiden also going side by side in the Mickey Mouse section. Thankfully all clean there. We also have our first crash, I think, like major crash, which is Zakash, who is last. The only Red Bull actually racing today, and very unfortunate there. Already made it his pit stop, going to mediums and doing one more here. Maybe he's gonna retire from the race, but looks like he is going for hards, so trying to go to the end. Or there we go, he does retire. So if you want to retire from the race, it is advised that you do it while coming into the pit lane, so you don't compromise any of the laps from anyone else, and yeah, that is just the best place to do that. If you don't have time, maybe, or if you just don't want to race anymore, if you're 2 laps behind or 1 lap behind, just retire in the pit lane and all is gonna be good. As we have our first major retirement, let's actually go on board with Tomesh. Let's see what happened there. Looks like he just lost control of his car at the exit, or entry actually, of turn 7, and just went into the wall on the right hand side. I don't even know how he managed to catch that wall, as it's very far to the apex, but very unfortunate there for Poe. He was running very well, going from last position to already P7 I think it was, but looks like it wasn't to be. We have a safety car, and let's see if anyone is going to take the free pit stop which the safety car provides. Looks like Kevino does go into the pit lane. Let's see what RC is gonna put on. Nemesis does stay out, so he is gonna try and extend long. Lapage goes in, which is pretty good. He is on medium, so he can go for hards to the end. Who else goes in? Nilsson goes in. Kevino goes for mediums. Those mediums are gonna be very hard to actually get to the end, as tire wear is really high, but I think it's possible. But now he does have that free pit stop, and while Viper, Hypno and Nemesis still have to do one, so after they go into the pit lane, they're going to lose massively to everyone who pits now during the safety car. You also want to be pretty careful with the safety car. I don't know if they fixed the glitch, but there was a glitch before when the safety car was ending that the car would glitch backwards, and then sometimes would glitch into your car, making it go upside down, and then just ruin your whole race. So be careful when you're gonna go to the safety car ending. But anyways, most of the people have stopped. Let's actually see who has. So Kevino, Nilsson, Lapage, Jalen, Dina, Maiden, Rabidi, Snape, Tomesh, Maestro and Nungabonga have made their stops. Maestro already 2 stops and Nungabonga 3 stops. Also, one more problem with the safety car is that if anyone is lapped, you cannot really unlap yourself, because there's no option in the game that allows the lapped cars to overtake So if you are lapped, your race is basically just screwed, unfortunately. And everyone who hasn't stopped are Nemesis, Hypno, Viper, N1A, and SLG. So both of the Aston Martins, the Haas, one McLaren, and a Alfa Romeo. So this is gonna be very interesting, but I think those who haven't pitted are just losing out a lot from this, because this is just giving everyone a free pit stop. So in the race you lose around 24 seconds, of course all depends on what track you're on, but it is around average 24 seconds around most of the tracks. And then if there's like a safety car or a virtual safety car, you only lose around 13 seconds. So it's basically a free pit stop. And if you manage to time it correctly, you don't lose any positions. So I think those who haven't pitted are not really doing good, because they're gonna lose a lot, but I don't know, we're gonna have to wait and see. Safety car also might come in this lap. It usually comes when the pack is bunched up before Sector 3 and in the middle of Sector 3. If it doesn't do that, then the maximum lap count that the safety car goes on is 3. So 3 laps is maximum, and the safety car can only go out until lap 27. And then it cannot come at the final 2 laps. But I don't think we're gonna have safety car coming in this lap, so I'm gonna just take this opportunity to say thank you everybody so much for watching this stream at the moment. I hope that you are enjoying it, and the commentary, like I said, this is a one-off thing. If you just came to the stream, my name is Kickerlin or Dino. I am just reserving for today, as Luke Mills is currently unavailable, he is on holiday. So this is basically a one-off thing. I'm probably not gonna do any more of these, only if there is like gonna be spot available and no one is gonna be able to do it, then I might do it again. But yeah, like I said, I hope that you are enjoying it so far. As we are on lap 11, currently Nemesis is leading this safety car train. After it's gonna come out, everyone is gonna have to coordinate their speeds. Oh, that was contact between Hypno and Nemesis. Usually when there's a safety car out on track, it is the car behind's responsibility to not make any contact with the driver in front. So Hypno, probably that was his mistake, or like in the rulebook it says that the car behind's responsibility is that you look to the car ahead, but I didn't really see that incident very clearly because I was talking nonsense all the time, so I don't really know what happened there between the two, but thankfully none of them got any penalties, but Hypno might have gotten damage. But looks like all is probably just good. Anyway, where was I? Nemesis is P1, Hypno P2, Viper P3, Kevin P4, Nilsson P5, and Lepich P6, N1A P7, SLG P8, J-Lane P9, and Dina in P10. So, if you don't know how points are actually awarded if you're new to Formula 1, points are awarded from P1 to P10 as follows: 25, 18, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and 1. You also get an additional point for the fastest lap, but only if you are in the top 10. Some leagues like to do it like you can get the point if you are anywhere, and honestly I do like that, because even if you are like you have no chance to get any points in the race, it still gives you a opportunity to just try and push it to the maximum and get one additional point, which might turn the championship around at the end of the season. But the safety car is coming in this lap. We are going to have green flags very soon as Nemesis goes very early, already extending his gap to Hypno behind to 5/10 as Kevino behind also going on a move down the inside of Viper, making that move as early as possible because he is on the mediums. He doesn't want to run or he actually doesn't want to lose any time to these drivers who haven't pitted yet. Because that's only gonna be at his disadvantage as Hypno goes very deep going into turn 7. There was a gap for Kevino to maybe try and make a move around the outside, but it was way too dangerous, so it was nice that he backed out of it. But now he is using all of his ERS that he possibly can. Hypno defending everywhere, currently like at the middle of the track, going defensive down the inside. But Yogo can see that Kevino just way more confident under the brakes, but still no way to actually go past him, so he's gonna have to stay behind just a little bit longer. But this battle with Hypno is losing him all the time to Nemesis, who is still leading 6/10 between himself and Hypno, but Hypno gaining all of that back on this straight, so you can see that his straight line speed is incredible, running a way lower down for setup, but also braking a bit early as Nemesis does go deep at the penultimate corner, getting Hypno a very good line. I honestly don't know what line that was, but it was a line, as he tries to go for a move down the inside like he does previously, and he makes it stick very easy for the Haas, but Nemesis trying to go back at him, and he succeeds actually, which also provides Kevino a very good opportunity to just get past him easily, just like that. He just had to wait for the perfect opportunity. DRS is gonna be enabled next lap. When there's a safety car, DRS is disabled, and then after 3 laps it's enabled again. So DRS is enabled in 3 laps, but Hypno was having a little bit of a battle with Nilsson, but because of his straight line speed he managed to defend very easily there, and still running on the podium. So that's only good for him. And yeah, you can just see Kevino and his speed in the corners, and he just has to get past them as quickly as possible. Now that he has Slipstream and DRS, he's using that to his advantage, and he has overtaken him even before the corner. So, oh, what is the Nemesis doing? That was very interesting. Presumably fuel saving, so he probably doesn't have enough fuel to get to the end of the race, so he lifted off the throttle to try and save a little bit. But that compromised Hypno's line a little bit, going into the entry of the corner. So I don't know if he's really saving, because his fuel light is not blinking. But honestly, I don't know. I don't know what was happening there, as Nilsson makes a very beautiful move down the inside of the Haas driver and has made that move stick. Right behind we also have a battle with Leipzig Viper and Dina. Leipzig also getting close to the Haas to get DRS on this straight. By the looks of it, Hypno and Leipzig seem to be running pretty similar wings, so both of them on pretty low downforce setups, gaining a lot of time on the straights, losing a little bit in the corners, but they gain all of that on the straight line. Also, Leipzig is very good at preserving his ERS, so he is just waiting for the perfect moment to attack, which is probably not gonna be now. Probably later. You don't want to do it now, but just wait for the perfect moment, as Nilsson has overtaken Nemesis as well, as Nemesis nearly makes contact to the rear right wheel of the Alpine. Thankfully manages to avoid making that collision and making a big mess coming into turn 1, as Hypno has lost it. I don't know how that happened, but he is missing his right end plate, and he is presumably gonna have to box if the pace is gonna be compromised as big. So very unfortunate there for the Haas driver, as we also have a battle behind with Maiden and Rabbidy as he overtakes him into turn 1. So nice to see even a battle for no points. So like I said, only the top 10 get points, so it's nice to see this as well. Maestro is also on softs, I completely missed that. He is gonna have to pit again, unfortunately. But we can see SLG has DRS on the Ferrari. Is he gonna be able to make this move stick, as the Ferrari is sort of weaving and defending very, very aggressively, nearly making contact with SLG, as he actually does make contact, and they retire from the race. Oh, that was a big collision between the two drivers. Unfortunately, I was on board with SLG, I wasn't the third perspective, so I don't really know if it was the Ferrari's fault, but by the looks of it, they just collided together, which honestly was pretty easy to predict, because Maiden was defending very aggressively, and that could be penalized or after the race. But very unfortunate there for SLG. Both of the Alfa Romeos are now out, so they are not gonna get any points, which is a very big shame for the Alfa Romeo team. But Kevino still leading. All of those who haven't pitted before on the previous safety car now have the opportunity to go in, and they have taken it. Now they are on fresh mediums, and if they can, they are probably gonna make pretty easy moves on everyone, because these people are on 7-lap-old mediums and hards, so mediums should be around 20 to 30% worn already. So it is gonna be very difficult for those people to go to the end, so they are going to be near the puncture zone, they are gonna lose all the pace at the end, and the major pace loss is actually considered to be at around 60%. Before 60, you can be pretty consistent actually, you can do pretty consistent lap times. And after that, the tires just fall off, you have no grip in the corners, you're just gonna slide everywhere. So that is gonna be the only major disadvantage that the top 7 currently have. So let's see if they are going to be making it to the end, and if they are gonna avoid making another pit stop, which we hope they are. But yeah, we have another safety car. I'm really bad at safety cars, I don't really know what to talk about, but let's just check the penalties. Some of them have been served into pit lane, but Snape and Hypno currently 3 seconds, Dina 5 seconds, and Maiden got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. He was speeding, or his delta was not good. The drive-through penalty cannot be served under the safety car, so unfortunately for him, he is gonna have to serve it when the safety car comes in, and he is just gonna lose around 30 seconds because of that. Or actually a bit less, it's like 15 seconds, because you're not making a pit stop, you're just cruising the across the whole pit lane, so it's not really that big of a time loss, but still a big time loss nonetheless. So, how are you guys doing? Is everyone having a nice evening? A nice morning evening? Probably vacation for most people is over. Work has started. Mondays for me are the worst. Like, I'm still in school, but I freaking hate Mondays. They frustrate me a lot. And they last so long. And honestly, you have no motivation to do anything. But I hope everyone is doing okay, that they have a nice evening, and that is all that matters. And I hope you are enjoying the stream. We are halfway done, still 12 laps remaining of the race. Kevino is leading, like the previous safety car. I think he actually, no, it was the Aston Martin, I think, who led the previous safety car. Nemesis, I think. So let's see how Kevino is actually gonna deal with this restart, and looks like he is taking a bit of a different approach than Nemesis, trying to bunch up the pack as much as he possibly can, even before the penultimate corner, while Nemesis was just trying to go as early as possible. But everyone has different strategies with the safety car, and all of them can be beneficial if you know how to do it. So the safety car is coming in, and there we go. Kevino is going, and green flags are all around. People can do overtakes now, and we can see already people nearly going 3 wide. The 2 Alpines and Leipzig. Leipzig was looking a little bit of a move down the inside of Snape, which people look like that to do to Snape, but he backed out of it, knew that that was probably a death sentence, as now the Ferrari of Unga Bunga trying to make a move here on Leipzig, but we saw how that ended, as the track extends very much. That is probably gonna be a warning added to his name. 3 warnings and you do get a penalty. Kevino already has extended his gap to 1 second to Nilsson, and Nilsson 1 second to his teammate Snape, as we see Unga Bunga trying to go down the inside of 2 people at the same time, and he makes contact. Both of the Ferraris seem to be pretty dangerous to drive around. One causing a crash with SLG, and Unga Bunga nearly causing a crash here. I don't know how Snape actually caught that, because I seriously thought he was gonna be spinning at that corner. But nonetheless, Unga Bunga goes to P4, overtakes at least 1 car of Leipzig, and already has none ERS to use anymore. Hypno trying to get back at everyone. He is currently in front of everyone who pitted, and the Aston Martin makes a massive dive bomb into the penultimate corner. I don't know what happened there, maybe just lost the brakes, but that was very desperate. In my opinion, it just looked like he wanted to make that move as soon as possible. The other Aston Martin also trying to go for a move on Maiden, makes it stick, goes to P10 in the points. As we have yellow flag behind, it is Maestro, unfortunately having an incident, but still running in the race, so that is good for him. Unga Bunga gets to the podium positions, but he is still gonna be under attack behind. DRS is still not enabled. Snape, oh, what are they doing? Little bits of contact, and Snape and Unga trying to go side by side, making contact again, as behind Rabidi and Leipzig also going side by side. Rabidi trying to make a move around the outside, nearly makes it stick, now has the inside line, and does make it stick. But Unga Bunga having pretty dangerous defensing maneuvers, making contact, and also moved in the middle of the corner, making contact with Snape again. So it is gonna be pretty difficult for Snape to try and get in front of him yet again. But thankfully for him, the DRS is gonna be enabled next lap, as Rabidi makes big contact with Snape. That was not what you wanna see. But thankfully Snape doesn't lose too much time because of that collision. He only lost around 1 to 2 seconds. So he is still gonna be in this battle for the podium, but that might actually give Rabidi front wing damage, but looks like everything is okay at his front. But that's not really what you wanna do. That might also be penalized at the end of the race, I don't know. But that also looked pretty desperate, like we saw previously with Nemesis, with that big dive bomb. Before, the fastest guys here trying to just clear the traffic as soon as they possibly can. As Rabidi now has the DRS on Unga Bunga, is he gonna be able to make it stick? I think so. As Unga still making contact, as Rabidi doesn't leave any room around the outside for the Ferrari, but he just has to let go. And he has made that move stick. Thankfully, this battle has managed to give Leipzig and Snape a opportunity to get back into this fight. Now Leipzig has DRS and Unga Bunga just about gets DRS. He was nearly out of the 1 second. And is Leipzig gonna go for the move? He is thinking about it, but Unga Bunga just closes the door and no way he was gonna go for that anymore. But this is really nice to watch. It's pretty dangerous, but it's nice. It's nice to watch. We also have a battle here for the points paying positions. Hype not trying to get himself into P10 for that 1 point. Currently having the 2 McLarens to battle with as he gets in front of J-Lane, who I think is out of the lobby as he is ghosted. I don't know what's wrong with him, probably some internet issues or a game issue. Let's hope he gets back as soon as possible. But Hypno does get himself into P10, so that's gonna be 1 point added to his name. So let's see if he's gonna be able to make the move stick on the other McLaren. N1A doesn't have anyone in front of him, so I think this is just gonna be a very easy move. Unfortunately, Hypno doesn't have a lot of DRS to use, but still DRS is powerful enough to just do it. And he does. P9, 2 points, that is very good. So, Kevino still running in P1, extends his lead to 1.7 seconds. Nilsson trying to close the gap, but not really doing a good job. Looks like both of them are kind of staying at the same gap, so 1.7 to 2 seconds. Not really changing at all, and none of these are no one is making any major mistakes that loses them time. So I think if Kevino can just cruise, stay here, try and save ERS, he can definitely just get the win, which is gonna be very good for Williams Indy Constructors, as they look to close the gap to Aston Martin, who are currently leading with 60 points. Rabadi also in P3, so if they can get a double podium, that is gonna just be the best result that they could have possibly hoped for. Of course, not really, as a 1-2 is the best that you want, but a 1-3 is still gonna be very good for both of them. But yeah, Mercedes also looking very good to get themselves out of the back. Like we said before, they are in P10, and as I say that, 3-second time penalty added to Tomasz's name. That's the commentator's curse right there. Which is pretty common with me. I do curse quite a few people. As N1A does make a little bit of a mistake, spinning under the highway chicane, and thankfully gets his car back in line, and he can go forth again. But yeah, we have a big battle here with Viper, Snape, Hypno, Tomasz, Rabidi. No, it's just Tomasz. I thought like people in front were also. As Rabidi goes into the pit lane, I wonder why that's an option. He probably just thought that he couldn't get those mediums to the end, so he just took the save option, went to softs, and maybe just trying to get the fastest lap of the race, which let's see if he's actually gonna get. So Viper trying to get in front of Snape. Snape taking a very interesting line in turn 7, also braking in the middle of the corner when he, honestly, from my point of view, he had a very nice line going at the exit. As N1A unfortunately spins yet again, so that is gonna lose him 1 more position, but Viper has managed to make this move stick. Snape trying to go back at him around the outside of the Mickey Mouse section, but he hits the wall and gets a 3-second time penalty. How do you get a 3-second time penalty there? That is probably gonna get removed at the end of the race, because that is very not good. not good for him, as N1A retires from the session out on track. Like I said before, if you want to retire, retire in the pit lane, because you might get some penalty points, which might be added to your name later. And if you have enough penalty points, you are gonna get a qualifying ban or a race ban, so be very careful how you do this. Thankfully, he doesn't provoke any safety cars, even though he is sort of on the middle of the track, but still okay. And Kevino and Nilsson still, the gap staying the same. Okay, very sorry about that. My throat is already hurting a little bit with all this talking, which I haven't done in quite a while. Anyways, I saw yellow flag with Hypno. He probably made a mistake in turn 7, causing him to lose a position to Mitchell Snape, or maybe they collided with each other, I don't know. But he does have an ERS problem, 5%. He needs to save a little bit of it now that he cannot really battle for P7. Or at least hope that Snape's tires are gonna fall off, like, instantly. They are gonna be very close, actually. 15 lap old mediums are around 50 or 40% worn. So they are gonna be near the puncture zone at the end, so that is gonna be the best opportunity for Hypno to try and get one more position. I think he's actually also gonna be in front because of the penalties, so that's also gonna be one thing, as Snape goes into the pit lane. So he doesn't think as well that he can go to the end of the race, so he's also just putting softs on, just securing that. Maybe also trying to go for the fastest lap. Even though he qualified pretty high in qualifying, that was because it started raining, so this race is probably just gonna say who had the best pace out of anyone, but no one is really on softs or fresh softs, only Snape and Maiden. As we have another incident with Maestro crashing into the penultimate corner. Very unfortunate for him, but he is already outside the points, so he's not gonna get anything or lose anything as he goes into the pit lane yet again. And what is very interesting is that clouds are forming a little bit up in the air, so we might see some rain at the end of the race, which might spice things up a little bit, which is gonna be very interesting if that does happen. We have 4 laps remaining, and if we're gonna have like 2 laps of rain, it's gonna be very interesting if some people are gonna choose to risk it and go for intermediates. I remember in one of my league races, it was in Azerbaijan, it started raining 3 laps to the end. I was going to win, I stayed out, and unfortunately I lost the win right on the final corner because I couldn't hold the intermediate runner who later won the race. So getting the strategy call right to go from tries to intermediates is gonna be good, but this game likes to play with everyone's emotion, so it can literally like go from dry to wet in 1 second when it starts raining. So it is very unpredictable in this game, but it is getting darker and darker every single second. We are watching this battle between Unga Bunga and Leipzig for the podium, but yeah. Let's see if it does come, and maybe that's why Kevino and Nilsson haven't stopped yet. I mean, they are leading, so if they do pit, they're just gonna lose that lead, and it's just gonna prove to their downfall. But I don't know. Let's see what the race is gonna provide. Zunga Bunga unfortunately loses the DRS range to Leipzig. He also doesn't have any ERS. We saw before that Leipzig runs pretty low downforce setup, so he's incredibly fast in the straights. Even Unga Bunga cannot get close to him while they are on similar ERS. So you can just see the difference that that makes And in Miami, which has a lot of straights, lower than for setups are probably just a better option to choose. As we have a yellow flag, it is gonna be Viper who loses control in turn 3 and thankfully gets underway again, but he does lose 2 positions or 3, something like that, which is not gonna be good for his race. He is gonna lose a lot of points, which would be very good in the constructors. He's also missing the front wing, so he's definitely just gonna have to go into the pit lane, and he's gonna lose even more. So both of the Aston Martins are not gonna score points today, which is gonna be very interesting, actually. It's gonna be interesting to see who is gonna be at the top on the constructors table now. But yeah, no battles really happening all around the grid. The medium runners of Kevino and Nilsson are just crossing the finish line for the penultimate lap. They are gonna be very close at the puncture zone. They are lapping Maestro currently, but Maestro is trying to fight back, actually, here. Trying to unlap himself, which, I mean, he is on softs, he might be able to do it, but if he doesn't, then it doesn't really change anything. But let's actually see who has the fastest lap. The fastest lap is held by Dina with a 1:30.2. And I think I see drops of rain. Oh, that is gonna be interesting. Okay. But I think it came very, very late, because it is the final lap of the Grand Prix in 30 seconds. And I mean, I did say, oh, what are you doing, Maestro? That dive bomb was not necessary. Okay, so this is what I was saying. So the game likes to play with you. Like, the track is not wet at all, but you can see people just sliding around all the time. It's already wet, and it hasn't even rained for 5 seconds. Like, I don't know how Codemasters can program this game so badly. Like, I really don't know how they did that. But let's see if anyone is gonna go into the pit lane, as Kevino does crash into the wall. Maestro loses it, Nilsson loses it. But Kevino still stays out. Is anyone gonna go into the pit lane? I mean, by the low looks of it, it actually might prove possible and good. Lapage stays out, he's not gonna pit. We see some people crashing in the Mickey Mouse section and the chicane under the bridge. Also just losing a lot of grip. No one goes in. Unga Bunga stays out, Tomesh stays out. This is a very interesting thing that is happening right now. I don't know how how this happened. It started raining and then it instantly became wet, which is seriously unrealistic. But let's see if Kevino is gonna stay in the lead or if he's gonna crash again. Thankfully for him, he does have a 10-second gap because Nilsson crashed on the penultimate corner. So if he just cruises to the end, he can get to the end. We also see yellow flag with Tomesh crashing at turn 7. Not losing any positions, because that is only Maestro who is unlapping himself. But let's see, let's just keep on board with Kevino. Let's see if he's gonna be able to make it to the end. And if he's not gonna make it, to see how he's gonna crash. We see a Aston Martin spinning at the entry of turn 7. That is Viper losing 1 more position to J-Lane. So even... wait, he didn't even pit with no front wing. He stayed out with no front wing, are you serious? Oh wow, what a legend. What a legend. Only lost one position with no front wing, so that is very, very impressive. But Kevino is gonna cross the finish line. Thankfully for him, the wet wasn't really that that compromisable, and he does win the first ever Miami Grand Prix in GRS. Congratulations to him. And Lepage is gonna come across in P2, getting the first podium of the season, getting 18 points for Mercedes, getting them out of that P10 hole in the constructors. Very good for Adam Lepage here. Nilsson is P3, running out the podium. Unga Bunga finishes P4. Tomes gets P5, getting even more points for Mercedes. That's 28 points that they are gonna get. That is gonna be massive for the constructors. Hypno crosses the finish line, goes into P6. Didn't have a good race, but got back at it, but not where he wanted to be. Rabadi goes to P7, J-Lane goes to P8, even though he's not in the lobby. Viper with no front wing goes P9, Snape goes to P10. We're watching Dina, who is one of the only guys to actually be on the intermediates, crossing the line. P11, unfortunately no points for the Alpha Tauri driver, but still not too bad. And we are just waiting for Nemesis and Maiden, I think actually just Maiden, who is gonna cross the finish line in P12. Considering where his teammate is, it's not really a good position for the Ferrari driver. And we are just waiting for Nemesis, who set pole position for today, or I think he actually started third, not pole position. Yeah, fourth. He started in fourth, and unfortunately got involved in a few incidents. Bad strategy calls also contributed to this, and he crosses the line to finish unlucky P13. What a race! This race was very interesting, gotta be honest. Honestly, I wasn't really thinking that the rain would come to the at the end of the race. I was just looking at the sky, and it became so dark that I just thought to myself, like, no way rain's gonna come like at the final lap. And then it does come, and then like 5 seconds after one drop goes on the track, we already have full wet conditions, which is very unrealistic. But anyways, we can see here the Williams driver very happy to get pole position. I'm gonna be honest, I already forgot his name. I'm very sorry. I forgot your name. But you can see that he's very happy about this win for Williams. At least they are providing some good results somewhere, unlike real life. But a very good race for everyone who is on the podium. Congratulations to him, Lepage, and wait, who is the Alpine? I forgot the Alpine's name as well. Nilsson, there we go. So congratulations to Kevin, Lepage, and Nilsson on the podium. It has been a very good race for all those 3 drivers. Let me just get the race director, and there we go. So, Unga Bunga is P4, gets 12 points, Tomesh P5, 10 points, Hypno P6, 8 points, Rabadi P7, 6 points, J-Lane P8, 4 points, Viper P9, 2 points, and Snape P10, 1 point. Dina gets the fastest lap, but unfortunately because he is not in top 10, he doesn't get the additional point. Maiden finishes P12, Nemesis P13, Maestro P14, N1A P15, SLG P16, Poe P17, and Zakash, unfortunately the last guy and the first guy to DNF in P18. So yeah, honestly, this race was pretty interesting. We had quite a few battles happening all around the grid, quite a few accidents, people out-braking themselves massively, going into the penultimate corner, and before the main Mickey Mouse section, I think that's like turn 9 or 10, causing a few incidents in the process. But overall, I think the race was pretty entertaining. And like I said before, I didn't think that the rain would come and cause such a big fuss right there at the end. Why I'm not alt-tabbing out of the game, because the game might crash and the stream might crash then if I alt-tab, so I just want to wait until all of this is done, and then we're gonna do everything and run things up. And there we go. And that is it. I'm gonna stay at this part because when I alt tab, sometimes it crashes, so I'm just gonna do my outro here. And I want to thank everybody so much for watching today's stream and the commentary. I really do hope that you have enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed doing it. If you liked it, you can leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We really do appreciate it. You can leave a comment as well. Like I said, we do appreciate it. I think in the description, in the description we have links for Instagram and Twitter. You can follow us there. And there is a Discord link. So if you enjoyed the action, you can just join our official GRS Discord. You can maybe sign up to race. We have 2 tiers. Tier 2 is today, which is so right now, and Tier 1 is tomorrow at the same time. So you can race, and if you don't want to race, you can just chat. The people in the league are very friendly, very talkative, and yeah, just chat with us. And yeah, I think that is it. Once more, I really do hope that you have enjoyed today's commentary and stream. My name is Kickerlin, and you probably won't see from me or hear me again, probably, but we are gonna see about that. But anyways, everyone stay safe and have a good night.